Celtic Myths and Legends by T.W. Rolleston. Okay. Chapter 2 is the Celtic religion, human sacrifices in Ireland, and they want kernels and milk in exchange for their children. Bertrand endeavors to disassociate the Druids from these practices, of which he says, strangely, there is no trace in Ireland. Really? I think Ireland and Scotland were the last places in Europe to have recorded human sacrifice. Of course, death penalties were instituted by the governments that caught them, but anyways. Although there, as elsewhere in Celtica, Druidism was thought of as all-powerful, there is little doubt, however, that in Ireland also human sacrifices at one time prevailed. In a very ancient tract, the Din San Cuss, preserved in the Book of Leinster, it is stated that on Moist Lot, the plain of adoration, there stood a great idol, Crom Cruach, the bloody crescent. To it, the Gaels used to sacrifice children. When praying for fair weather and fertility, it was milk and corn they asked from it in exchange for their children. How great was their horror and their moaning. The Irish Mythological Cycle by D. Arboy de Jubainville, page 61. The Din An Cuss in question is an early Christian document. No trace of a being like Crom Cruach has been found as yet in the so-called pagan literature of Ireland, nor in the writings of St. Patrick, and I think it is quite probable that even in the time of St. Patrick, human sacrifices had become only a memory. And there's evidence elsewhere that that's not quite the case. But one book at a time, right? And perhaps I should do papers and stuff, doing deep research into human sacrifice and such, and look at our wars. Oh, come on! It's like the Aztecs were a lot more peaceful of a culture. They killed far fewer people in comparison to their population than certain Western nations. So, I mean, so there's that aspect. And aren't some churches calling to, well, non-Christian, no, these aren't Christian majority nations, or people, you hear lies on some of these commercials, or I guess sermon programs, but commercials, because they're making millions of dollars, these companies. That's really, donate, there's the number that you can donate at. Claiming, oh no, but Israel doesn't kill the Christians, although they mostly kill Christians. Even though the population, Muslim and Christian, is about equal over there, they mostly kill Christians for, a reason, because the Christian are considered Goyim, Gentile, in a very literal sense. So, right or wrong, there's always going to be religious motivation for killing. And some of it definitely was that the killing had to happen for itself. Isn't that the foundation of Christianity? That God did a human sacrifice to the devil to, so he could forgive humanity? Isn't that the Christian myth? And I'm listing this under Celt and not Christian yet, even though it's filtered through Christian history and Christian speakers.